Hello there, I'm Kios, the Ronin Beatmaker, and welcome to Lounge Ronin, all things, everything. If you're new to the channel, please make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. And on this episode, we're going to discuss ancient Chinese explorers landed in America. Now, with all things, everything, this will be a light introduction. So I implore you, if this scratches that itch, to go out there and do your own research, as you might be surprised as what you discover about yourself and the world. So without further ado, hello there, I'm Kios, Ronin Beatmaker, and welcome to Ronin Art and Music, home to Ronin Music, Lounge Ronin, all things, everything, the Monday Mindset Rants, and Ronin Reviews. We strive to make holistic and authentic content that aims to improve your individuality, mental fortitude, and peace of mind. If you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. Stay positive, stay focused, stay true, and much love. Now, back to the show. Now, this article was updated May 19th, 2015, and it was written by Tara MacIsaac. New evidence, ancient Chinese explorers landed in America excites experts. John A. Raxkamp Jr., ED, reports that he has identified an outstanding, history-changing treasure hidden in plain sight. High above a walking path in Albuquerque's Petroglyph National Monument, Raxkamp spotted petroglyphs that struck him as unusual. After consulting with experts on Native American rock writing and ancient Chinese scripts to corroborate his analysis, he has concluded that the readable message preserved by these petroglyphs was likely inscribed by a group of Chinese explorers thousands of years ago. On the fringe of archaeology have long been claims that Chinese reached North America long before Europeans, with some renowned experts taking interest in Ruxamp's discovery. Those claims may be working their way from the fringe to the core. It doesn't mean our history books will change tomorrow. Anything short of discovering an undisputed area, early Asiatic relic or village in the Americas may fail to convince those archaeologists who have dogmatically rejected evidence of an ancient Chinese presence in the New World, said Ruxamp. That's no different than refusal to admit that Aborigine Americans who trace their lineage from Africa were already living in North America long before the Chinese explorers arrived or the European explorers. If you're interested in that, I have done two videos on that. Check out this week's video. Actually, check out yesterday's video when this comes out, and you'll get a little introduction into that. Let's continue. But the desperate and widespread symbols he has found show many indications of authenticity. They have the potential to inspire a more serious investigation into the early Trans-Pacific interaction. To date, Ruskamp has identified over 82 petroglyphs matching unique ancient Chinese scripts, not only at multiple sites in Albuquerque, New Mexico, but also nearby in Arizona, as well as in Utah, Nevada, California, Oklahoma, and Ontario. Collectively, he believes that most of these artifacts were created by an early Chinese exploratory expedition, although some appear to be reproductions made by native people for their own purposes. One of Ruskamp's staunchest supporters has been David N. Keatley, and MacArthur Foundation Genius Award recipient who is considered to be many of the leading analysis in America of early Chinese oracle bone writing. Keatley has helped Runscap decipher the scripts and has identified, excuse me, decipher the scripts and has identified one ancient message preserved by three Arizona cartouche petroglyphs translates as set apart, 10 years together, declaring return, the journey completed. House of the Sun, journey completed together. End quote. At the end of this text is an undeciphered character that may be the author's signature. Now, here we have photo images of that said message. Give you guys a couple seconds to take a peek at them. But this just adds more to the theory and speculations that I have always said, and many people have been speaking, that we do not know the true history of this world, especially when it comes to North America or even South America, but especially North America. This is a very mysterious and fascinating country. And when more and more information like this is made privy to a more wider audience, then it allows people to do their own research and to dive into these things and to learn, as I like to put it, the true history of our world, whether that be your own home country or any other country out there that you find of interest and curiosity. Let's continue. Here we have an image of the Arizona glyph site on what has always been and still is very private ranch property located miles from any public access or road. And I imagine that if you were granted more access to explore this area, you would probably find some pretty fascinating things. Um, I guarantee it. I guarantee it. There's some incredible groundbreaking discoveries there that are just waiting to be discovered or have already been discovered and are now just being protected. You never know either way nowadays. Let's continue. The oracle bone style of writing employed for creating a number of these ancient petroglyph scripts disappeared by royal decree from mankind's memory around 1046 BC, following the fall of the Shang dynasty. It remained an unknown and totally forgotten form of writing until it was rediscovered in AD 1899 at Yang, China. Ruskamp thus concluded that the mixed styles of Chinese scripts found in these Arizona petroglyphs indicate that they were made during a translational period of writing in China, not long after 1046 BC. Ruskamp gives the following translations to the Albuquerque petroglyphs. Gang, a date the seventh Chinese heavenly stem, J, or no, G, to kneel down in reverence, Da, great, referring to a superior, Quang, dog, the sacrificial animal, Zhan, offering worship to deceased ancestors, and Daijai, the name of the third king of the Shang dynasty. And here are those said petroglyphs. Fascinating. Truly fascinating. I'm telling you guys, we really don't know the true history of our world. The Albuquerque petroglyphs use both Seal era and Bronze era Chinese scripts, suggesting they were also written during a transitional period in Chinese calligraphy, likely between 1046 BC and 475 BC. The use of the title Da before the name Zhai suggests a date close to the end of the Shang dynasty in 1046 BC. as this application emerged during that time period and was replaced shortly thereafter. If you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. Stay positive, stay focused, stay true, and much love. Now, back to the show. Michael F. Madurano, PhD, Chief of the Division of Resource Management at Petroglyph National Monument, studied the petroglyphs at that location upon Ruskamp's request. He said that based on his more than 25 years of experience with local native cultures, quote, these images do not readily appear to be associated with local tribal entities, and based on reputation, appear to have antiquity to them, end quote. It is difficult to physically date the petroglyphs without absolute certainty, notes Ruskamp. Yet the syntax and mix of Chinese script found at these two locations correspond with what experts would expect explorers from China to use some 2,500 years ago. For example, the Arizona Ranch petroglyphs are divided into three sections, each enclosed in a square known as a cartouche. Two of the cartouches are numbered, one with the Chinese script for one, placed beneath it in a similar manner with the second cartouche has an ancient Chinese script meaning second inscribed beneath it. Together, these numeric figures indicate the order in which these images should be read. Importantly, the cartouches are thus known to be read within the traditional Chinese manner from right to left. The first two cartouches are rotated 90 degrees to the left of vertical, and the third is rotated 90 degrees to the right. The deliberate rotation of these writings, both to the left and the right of the vertical, by an equal number of degrees, endorses their authenticity, for the rotation of individual scripts by Chinese calligraphers is well documented, end quote, wrote Runskamp. Some of the symbols found in the petroglyphs are common to both Chinese script and ancient Native American writing. For instance, the Chinese petroglyph figure of Zhu conveys the idea of togetherness in much the same manner as the Naquat symbol as now, and has been in the past understood by the Hopi, wrote Ruskamp. And here we have those two symbols. This would mean, in my speculation, that at one point there may have been intermingling between these Chinese explorers and the Hopi tribe at some point. We have to take these ideas into consideration that language and syntax can aid and shape many different types of cultures and civilizations, from my perspective personally. Let's continue. Another similarity is the use of rectilinear spiral to convey the concept of a round trip journey. A rectilinear spiral similarly used by the Chinese in Hopi to convey the concept of round trip journey. Now, I'm sure that if we were to do a DNA test onto descendants of the Hopi, we might find some genomes that trace all the way to China. Just something to think about. Let's continue. Though these similarities could be conceived as supporting a Native American origin for Ruskamp's petroglyphs, Ruskamp stated, quote, the extensive Chinese vocabulary evidence at each location advocates against the authorship of the figures evaluated in this study being credited to Native Americans. None of the more complex Chinese figures identified in this report are known to have any native tribal affiliation. Let's repeat that again. None of the more complex Chinese figures identified in this report are known by any native tribal affiliation. So maybe I'm wrong. The conclusion of this paper, titled Ancient Chinese Rock Writing Confirmed Early Trans-Pacific Interaction, reads, in contrast to any previous historical uncertainty, the comprehensive evidence presented in this report, in which is supported by both analytical evaluation and expert opinion, documenting the presence of readable sequences of old Chinese scripts located upon the rocks of North America, establishes that prior to the extinction of oracle bone script from human memory, Approximately 2,500 years ago, trans Pacific exchanges of epigraphic intellectual property took place between Chinese and North American populations. End quote. He published a paper on his website, AsiaticEchoes.com, in April and is currently under peer review. Last October, he began presenting his findings in speaking engagements, including most recently in the Association of American Geographers in Chicago. He will next present at the meeting at the Little Colorado River chapter of Arizona Archaeology Society in Springville, Arizona, on May 18th. So if you're interested, you can look into those things, and you might be able to see, I'm sure, a recording of those presentations. But that concludes our light introduction into the mysteries of ancient Chinese explorers landed in America. Now, there is a map. Let me see if I can find it. If I can find this map, then I'll. Hello there, I'm Kios Ronin Beatmaker, and welcome to Ronin Art and Music, home to Ronin Music, Lounge Ronin, all things, everything, the Monday Mindset, Rants, and Ronin Reviews. We strive to make holistic and authentic content that aims to improve your individuality, mental fortitude, and peace of mind. If you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. Stay positive, stay focused, stay true, and much love. Now, back to the show. Well, okay, so this map, Chinese map, America before 1430. So we'll pull it up, and then let me see if I can find. Oh, I think this is the correct map. Now I just want to go back to this research paper and make sure. Hmm. Okay, well, I'm just going to pull this paper up because I think this would be appropriate for us to check out this paper. And I'll add it in the um, description box as well. Because I think it's important that we also, and so much for doing a light dive, a light introduction. Looks like we're going to be doing a little bit of a deep dive. So stick with me. Okay, Chinese map America before 1430. This is by Xun Liang Li. Okay, abstract. A qualitative and quantitatively comparison of the Kunyu Wango Quanti and the contemporary world maps of Mercator, Ortelius and Mercator's Arctic map, and Plancinius in particular reveals that the Chinese map is not an adapted copy from European maps. The Chinese world map includes geography of pre-Renaissance Europe and American geography unknown to Europeans until more than 200 years after Ricci's death. Approximately 50% of the place names, including those of America, have no equivalent on European maps. Chinese names descriptive of geographic features of California Peninsula, Mount Rainier, the Fords of Alaska, Mount Delaney, Tribal Bore near Anchorage are all accurate by latitudes. Chile, Peru are correct by relative longitude. Contrary, the maps by Plancius and Meteor are erroneous and ambiguous. Okay, so on geography of North and South America. The geography of the text of the Chinese world map are consistent with the completion date of 1430, some 60 years before Christopher Columbus' first voyage. So there you have it. Okay, introduction. In 1602, the Italian Jesuit priest Matteo Ricci presented to the Chinese Emperor Wan Li a world map labeled entirely in Chinese. For the past 400 years, the Chinese world map has been thought to be a map translated from European sources. At 1.5 millimeter high and 3.66 millimeters wide, with 1,114 place names, the Chinese world map is the most detailed and accurate world map of its time. In 2010, the University of Minnesota purchased a copy of the map, Ricci, Li, and Zhang, 1602. A high resolution copy is also available from the website of Library of Congress, and a color version from Tohoku University. Nicknamed Impossible Blank Tulip, the Chinese world map has puzzled cartographers for decades because of its surprisingly accurate information of regions not yet known to European explorers of the time. For easier discussion, the map is referred to as the 1602 Chinese World Map, but is not drawn by Matteo Ricci, and the survey was most likely completed prior to 1430 as the evidence unfolds. Okay. Now, we're not going to jump into all of it, but we'll just get a little bit in there, okay? Um, well, actually, we'll just hit the hot spots. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. So the prime meridian and longitude, Medicor, Otilius, and Placnius, as well as other maps in the 16th century, set the prime meridian at either Canary Islands or Cape Verde Islands, with a variation of anywhere from 100 kilometers to 900 kilometers offshore of continental Africa. For the 1570 world map of Ortelius, the prime meridian is set at about 23 degrees west of Greenwich. It is not logical to set up the prime meridian at some small island in the middle of the Atlantic, introducing difficulties and inaccuracy to measurements on an open ocean. Setting the prime meridian on some island off the big ocean began with Ptolemy's map, which shows only 180 degrees in longitude, i.e., half of the globe. It is questionable how Ptolemy, who stayed in Alexandria for most, if not all, of his life, created this prime meridian standard. The next question is whether Christopher Columbus understood that he had traveled half of the globe to reach China. These fundamental questions should be puzzling for all cartographers. The Chinese world map aligns the prime meridian with multiple points of West Africa about 16 to 17 degrees west. Dakar, Senegal, the westernmost region of Africa, is the much more logical prime meridian as the beginning of the Asian, Europe, African land masses, west of the continental mass of the Atlantic Ocean or Great West Ocean by Chinese. This significant difference in the prime meridian shows that the 1602 Chinese map is not derived from maps by Ortelius, Mercator, or Papantius. And longitude data are from satellite data of Google Earth. All longitude values are adjusted to degrees west of Greenwich for easy comparison. The labeling on the ancient map does not allow precision better than within 2 degrees. Thus, all coordinates are rounded to the closest unit. Specifically, 3 names are chosen. Viz, Chow, Fang. Okay. Let's move on to the next section. Western North American Chinese World Map versus Plinius 154 map. Um, so I'm gonna let you guys, if you want to get into all of that, do a little bit of a deeper dive. We're just gonna do the intros for each one of these sections. Okay, so Western North American Chinese World Map versus Placanius 1594 map. Many names of the west coast of North Americans are not available on Ortelius, Thyterium Orbius Tertium, 1570, or Mercator's Neva et Actua Orbius Terra Descriptio ad Usium Navigatium N, both sought to be the blueprints for the Chinese world map. Latetia Orbis Tertium is the first world map with Western North America labeled comparably to the Chinese world map, yet there is no available record of European exploration of the state of Washington, Western Canada, and Alaska prior to 1594. The official exploration of the western frontier starts with Lewis and Clark's journey reaching Oregon. The following critical comparison of northwestern America of the 1602 Chinese map and Plicinius map, the, the contemporary latitude and good weather conditions denial is visible at Anchorage. Oh, wait, did I misread that? Did I mess that up? No, I didn't. Okay, yeah. At over 600 miles, the highest mountain of North America is normally hidden behind clouds, only visible 30% of the time, even to Anchorage residents. The Tuagami Arm, the only tidal bore in the entire American West Coast, is a natural wonder only prominent during the center phases of the moon. To observe both the Denali and the tidal bore and name a tidal bore mountain, one would need to be stationed there for some time. Denali was first sighted by the Vancouver in 1794 and Turagain Arm named by William Bry in 1778 under Captain Cook's command. The 16th Chinese world map includes both geographic features almost 200 years before Vancouver and Cook. The inaccurate interpretation of the tidal bore as current shows that the original naming was not Spanish. Today, Cabo correlates in Jalisco, Mexican, has no geographical feature of tidal bore or a high mountain. Oh boy, things keep on getting kinkier. All right. Okay, so let's get to the juicy stuff, okay? Number 7, Chinese world map results from Chinese survey. The latitudes and place names in the Platonius map and the 1602 Chinese map are presented in table 4. On the Platonius map, off to the north by 8 degrees latitude, Jitumuni Fu is named by Xin Zhu Dei as the administration in Beijing in 1403. The absence of the Shun Tian Fu in Ortelius 1570 and appearance in Placonius 1594 shows that information of the Yonglei's Chinese was acquired by European cartographers between 1570 and 1594. When Magellan passed the Strait of South America in 1520, he did not hung the coastline as an explorer would do to ensure provisions. He headed directly towards northwest, as if he knew the direction to reach Asia. He could have done that only if he had information from people who had actually crossed the Pacific. If Magellan did survey the coast of Chile, the results would have been reflected on the maps of Mercator and Ortelius. Boy, boy, oh boy, oh boy. Okay, okay, we'll do a little bit of a surveying technology of China and Martini's Novus Atlas Sinenius. The China map could map the open ocean prior to European contact. Is supported by Novus Atlas Insignius by Martini. Martini visited China at the worst time, 1643 to 1651, during the transition of Ming to Jing dynasty. Upon returning to Europe, Martini published Novus Atlas Insignius, um, including 17 maps and more than 1,500 extended names with longitude and latitude down to degrees and minutes. The map of Jina, Korea, and Japan with defined latitude, longitude, and spherical projection is shown in Figure 3 map of China and Japan from Novus Atlas and Ninnius by Martino Matani. Boy. For comparison, it took 5 years and more than 100 people to survey the Mason Dixon line, a straight line less than 400 kilometers. It is technically impossible for anybody to survey 6 million square kilometers of territory in less than 10 years, especially during the most turbulent period of the Ming Jing transition. As long as one place name was not surveyed by Martini, it must be based on Chinese survey technology. The accurate longitude and latitude and spherical projection have to be the work of thousands of Chinese surveyors over hundreds of years. Error. Reference source not found shows that the longitude and latitude for 19 selected cities in Nova's Atlas Cineus are within 1 degree deviation of satellite surveys in most cases. Even Seoul and Pyongyang in Korea deviate by only zero point 0.5 degree in latitude. The longitude of these foreign cities deviate more, understandably. Martino Martini is known to have brought Chinese atlases back to Europe. Read and Dominant, 2011, 108, page 188. Among these, Lao Hongjian's Guang Yutu, a Ming Dynasty atlas with 113 maps with descriptions by Liu Shangji in 1541, first printed in 1555 and updated in 1579. Yuntian Fu was established and named by Emperor Yongle, implying the atlas was constructed during or after Yongle's reign. The survey of the 1602 Chinese map was completed before 1430. On 1602 Chinese world map, a text above Spain indicates that the map is drawn some 70 years after the first communication with Emperor. Communication here refers to diplomatic relationship, which was first established by Giovanni de Maragoli, led a papal legation to China and stayed from 1342 to 1347. 70 some years after is within the time period of Zhang He's major voyages when the statement was made and the map drawn. On the contrary, if the map was drawn by Ricci adapting Ortelia's Mercator map 70 some years before, that would fall in the period of China's maritime ban, when communication was impossible, contradicting the statement on the map. This unedited statement offers the most definite dating of the map. The China section of the world map includes places only relevant to Emperor Yongle, such as places along his route of campaigns against Mongols and the spot he died, which has no political or economic value in Wali's era. The name was changed as a result of withdrawal of Ming's administration from Vietnam in 1492. Thus, the information of Chinese geography on the Chinese world map is consistent with a time period shortly after 1428 and before 1430 when Zhang He launched the last voyage. Conclusion. By the time this paper is published, three more papers would have appeared in Science of Surveying and Mapping. I don't know why it's broken up like that. The official journal of Chinese Academy of Surveying and Mapping leading the following evidence. 1. Chinese world map labeling Canada and Appalachian existed in Nanjing before construction of the 1602 map. This shows Chinese knew about Canada and Appalachian before the new continent was known to Europe as America. 2. By Ricci's own account by the map in his journal, he had very limited involvement in the making of the Chinese world map. Versions of the map were kept from Ricci's site, and he did not even own a copy. Li Zhizhao, the co-author who translated some of the European place names in the world map, did not update Chinese geography, which is much earlier than this time period. Kyunyu Wenguao Quantu, the 1602 Chinese world map, is labeled entirely in Chinese. It is either translated from European maps or based on the original Chinese surveys and records. Nicknamed Impossible Blank Tulip, Kyunyu Wango Quanti is much more accurate and detailed than maps by Ortelius, Mercator, and Placanius. Ricci could not have updated an American geography known only 200 years before their discovery. Ricci can be further excluded as an author because the pre-Renaissance geography and the absence of papal states in Europe are incompatible with Ricci's status as a Jesuit of Renaissance Italy. Since Ricci's collaborator Li Zizhao did not update the geography of China, the survey must be completed by Chinese well before Ricci and Li's time. The geography of China on Ken Yu Wangguao Quantu is pre 1430. The original should be a summary of surveys during Admiral Zhang, his first six voyages to prepare for the last voyage. Zhang He, Admiral Zhang He's first six voyages to prepare for the last voyage. After Zhang He's death in 1433, China did not have the incentive and support for world exploration or construction of world maps. Misunderstanding in the 400 years stems from the fact that Matteo Ricci and Li Zizhao added colophons and place names to the original 1430 Chinese world map, likely by the same name. The contribution of Ricci and Li is not geographical survey but preservation of this precious map under a very delicate political situation of Ming China. During the dynastic transition and wars with foreign powers, the original Chinese archive of Zhang He's voyages was lost. The missing information is now recovered from maps. Knowing that the Chinese world map was completed in 1430 rather than 1602, it is comprehensive that the improvement of Palacios in 1594 map over Ortelianus' 1570 map is really due to the flow of information from China to Europe, not the reverse. It is likely that the fragmentary information of the early Chinese voyages leaked by seamen along the routes triggered world explorations by Columbus and others. The currently available evidence offers strong support to credit Ming Chinese for launching the age of world exploration and advancing cartography, overturning 600 years of misinterpreted history. Comparative cartography is proven a powerful tool to correct world history. And there you have a light, deep dive into ancient Chinese explorers landed in America. Now, that was straight from the research paper. I'll make sure to put that in the description box. But there you have it. I mean, Chinese explorers were already in North America interacting with the Aborigine populations. So, this is information for you guys to take time, reflect on, do your own research, and you make with it what you do. But like I've said, and I will continue to stress, we do not know the true history of this world. And until we take that extra step to do that dive, we will remain domesticated in a belief system that is propagated to keep us docile, ignorant, and dumb. Break free from the domestication. Break free from the chains of resistance. Embrace the art of living. Embrace the mystery. Embrace the true history. And seek that information out for yourself. You are an individual. You are not the hive mentality. Stay true to yourself. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Lounge Ronin. All things, everything. If you've made it this far, please make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. And until next time, stay positive, stay focused, stay true, and much, much love.